Good day, engineering thinkers. For those of you who are just joining us, welcome to the show. And for those of you who are returning, we're delighted to have you back. My name is Sean, and the purpose of this show is to inspire all of you to think and act like engineers, whether you're in training to become one or not, or you're just interested in engineering fields and you just want to learn more from the best that this industry has to offer. We have a place for you here. Now, we've got an incredible guest with us today, someone with over 26 years in the automotive industry. Now, our guest started off his journey by graduating from the University of Kentucky in the USA in mechanical engineering. Then he joined Ford as a brand manager before joining his current position as the head of sales at Mercedes-Benz Malaysia, where he's been at for over 19 years. Incredible career. In October 2024, he was also offered an honorary directorship by the ICDM, supported by Bursa Malaysia, because he completed the ADIP program. So we're going to learn a lot from our next guest, Mr. JC Yap. Thank you very much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you for having me.
So, engineering thinkers, we're going to start off the program as we always do with the first segment, which is the journey. For us here at IK, we believe that engineers and leaders are like superheroes. We believe that they make this world a better place. Like every superhero that you know and love, they have an origin story. So for this segment, we're going to examine Mr. Yap's origin story. So let's begin. Mr. Yap, can you tell us who or what inspired you to go down the pathway of engineering?
When I answer that question, it always brings a smile on my face. I would say I'm one of the oddball that I actually have my eye on engineering since as young as I can remember, standard one, which is a bit strange, right? A lot of people will have trying to figure out what they want to do. But since my young days, I have quite fixated that I wanted to do engineering. Somehow I'm very fascinated with machineries and the mechanical characteristics, and always in my mind I felt that engineer is the greatest creation of human mankind, because how could they be inventing such a great machineries, and where do they find the intelligence to do so, right? I mean, once upon a time, human is living in the jungle in the wild, and how could that be, right? So that source of curiosity and that source of inspiration kind of drive me forward. But also innocently, I have to say this innocently, I was also inspired by Transformer cartoon, like all other kids as well. Okay. So you can tell my favorite cartoon is Transformer. That keep kind of oriented me towards I really want to do this field, and that's how it guided me through to my younger days of educations, because I know I need to go into the science stream. And then after graduate from high school, and I know that I needed to go for an engineering course.
So can you share with our viewers and our listeners a little bit about your journey when you joined the engineering faculty in the United States, right? And so by that time, obviously you said that you were inspired by Transformers and the curiosity of engineering then, which I think is fantastic. But obviously by the time you got to university, it was kind of serious, like, because that was going to lay the foundation for your future life. And so I think that for a lot of our younger viewers as well, who are still in education and training, maybe you could share a little bit about how you felt the experience of studying engineering was like for the University of Kentucky, for example.
I would say the experience is great. What brought me to mechanical engineering, because as I mentioned earlier on, my inspiration is doing robotics engineering. And robotics engineering is only available in postgrad. But so in order for me to pursue to the postgrad, I need to I need to get a passport degree first, right? Which is mechanical engineering. That's how it brought me to mechanical engineering. So in that sense, as orientation is also quite clear for me. To answer your questions, how was my experience of studying engineering in United States? I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate that my parents sent me to University of Kentucky. I have an experience to go to United States to do the engineering degree, despite 97 financial crisis at that time. The life is great. I got the opportunity to meet American students, international students, and I enjoyed the course. And the interesting part is you get students from all over the world, right? And I have classmates also from China. I'm also very fascinating by them as well. They're very super intelligent. I still remember one of the hardest courses is actually fluid dynamics. Fluid dynamics is one of the hardest courses, and with all the formulas and you have to do use of scientific calculator to do the calculations and things like that. And I'm very fascinated. What I'm fascinated is by the Chinese student is they don't even need the scientific calculator, and they can really do the. So I sometimes actually find it quite interesting.
So you kind of admire the ability to just sort through the numbers and figure out the calculations, perhaps without the aid of a calculator.
Yeah.
Now tell us a little bit about, you said it was a challenging course. Now I'm sure a lot of our, like I said, younger viewers and listeners, they might find their field, their faculty of engineering to be challenging too. Can you tell us about what motivated you to keep staying on the path? Because we're finding that, especially in the States today, and perhaps last couple of years, a lot of engineering graduates are dropping out. There's actually a high incidence of engineering graduates either not staying for the full course or not pursuing further studies in engineering. So, and this is perhaps related to other factors, but certainly it's a tough course, like you mentioned. And I'm sure fluid dynamics is just one of the courses that is challenging. So can you perhaps say and advise our viewers, what can they do to motivate themselves to keep going, to stay with this field?
That's a very good question. In fact, my answer could be applied in not just engineering, it actually can be applied in all aspects of life. Basically, it's all about, in specific engineering degree is very much, as an engineer, you solve problems. We face problems all the time in life, right? We solve problems. So how to overcome the challenge is actually it's also another problem-solving skills. But the main thing that I would say is the attitude towards it, persevere, and the curiosity, right? And continue to find the answer. Especially this is especially very much into a research field, research and development. And as you go into postgrad, right, you do a new field, a new technology, and that you do a lot of problem solving. But coming back to the challenges to overcome, right? That is, I would say, fundamentally is to continue to find solution to a problem. So if let's say I come to a stumbling block of not knowing the answer, nothing stopping me to go and ask a professor. Nothing stopping me to seek out help. Brings back the memory of me in the universities, and we study late nights is quite common. And like, hey, come over to my house or apartments, and let's do a study group together. How do you do this? And like, there's always support out there. So and it's about reaching out these resources. And today, you will have internet, you will have and AI and things like that. I'm not encouraging anyone, the student, to take shortcuts and use AI to solve your assignment. But there's so much of a resource today to find the answer and find the solutions. I think there's no one silver bullet to solving a certain problem, but I think so long that you have a good orientations and persevere and continue and try, you will succeed. It's just one step towards the success.
That's fantastic. Now, to those of you watching and listening, I think that was very important, what Mr. Yap just shared with all of us. So it's not just having the knowledge of the course, right? Once you hit a wall, like Mr. Yap mentioned, a stumbling block, is to have the right attitude, to approach it with perseverance and have the initiative to seek out help, because like it was mentioned, you have so many resources available to you, and not just the internet or AI or anything like that, but also the people around you, your fellow coursemates, your professors, your mentors, your tutorial teachers, and all of those will all factor in to your success in the course. So very important. I know there are a lot of our viewers out there who are in education and training who might have experienced what Mr. Yap has also experienced in different courses, in different engineering faculties. But remember, it's the attitude, as was mentioned. Engineering thinkers, welcome back to the episode. We're now in segment 2 of our program, which is the highlight. And this is where we're going to get down to the interesting details and the shared wisdom and experience from our guest, Mr. J.C. Yap. So in this section, we're going to build further on the origin story that we've established with our superhero of today, Mr. Yap. And we've understood, how he felt when he first studied engineering in the US. And now we're going to move towards his professional journey, his career, and see if we can extract some incredible wisdom from his experiences. So Mr. Yap, let's talk about your early career and when you joined Train as a manufacturing engineer. Can you share a little bit about your experience working in the Train team and sort of what skills you accrued from that?
What brings me to Train is also a very interesting story. I didn't plan for it, to be honest. I joined the university during the economic crisis, 97 Asian economic crisis in the US. I'm cognizant of that. I know that my parents have to fork out a lot of money, and it was in an economic crisis. And at the time, it was a general practice that we study and work at the time to help up to pay our tuition fees. That's what I did. I actually actively seek out for internships in engineering degree. And there I also have to persevere because as a foreigner in the United States, it's not so easy to get a job. And you have to attend a lot of job interview and being rejected multiple times. Through perseverance, I managed to get very lucky to get a job internship offer at the Train. And that's where how it brings me to the Train company as an intern, as a design intern in the engineering department, and I did that for 3 semesters in the durations of 1 semester is 3 months, so 9 months of internships. With that internship, I actually got the good relationship with the company. And they actually offered me a permanent job as a manufacturing engineer after I graduate, and that's how it brought me to the Train company, and that's how I then started my first job career as a manufacturing engineer at the shop floor.
I see. So actually, you had the initiative to sort of seek out internships, right? And so you kind of built a network to avail yourself to actually join Train as a manufacturing engineer. So now that you joined Train, and so I would like to know, what was your experience like there during your time at Train? Like, what are, say, a couple of skills that you picked up during your time as a manufacturing engineer there?
I did a couple of things in Train. As a manufacturing engineer, I basically support the assembly line manufacturing. So I have so the skill sets. Some of the interesting projects that I did is, like, for example, the assembly line layout design. Also doing time study, to match the each station's takt time and the line balancing just in time. Some of the, it brings back some memories like terminology like Kanban and Kaizen and continuous improvement, Six Sigma, right? Maintaining ISO, maintaining the works instructions at the assembly line so that the assembly worker know how to the processes and things like that. Those are the technical aspect of things. But what is more interesting for me as Asians, Malaysians work in the shop floor in America, quite how to say it's in the state of Kentucky. The culture there is very different because it's quite a redneck town, right? The interesting part is more of the life experience and the cultural. So it's also take me a while to fit into the environment, to get the fellow shop floor colleagues to get comfortable to me, or vice versa as well. But they are great people after I get to know them, and that experience was rather enriching for me.
So I think that was sort of beneficial for you too, Mr. Yap, right? Because we talk about the technical aspects and the engineering aspects, but actually there's also the cultural, the human aspect to it too,
Yes.
right? So it's not just, we talk about the challenges of being in the shop floor, right? We also talk about challenges of maybe the culture shock, like you said, because it's a totally different country, different value system, different cultures. And so I think one of the important things that you mentioned, which is important for our viewers and listeners, is having an open mind.
Yes.
Is also very important to be sort of the complete professional engineer, right? You have to have an open mind, because there's a good chance that maybe, a lot of our viewers and listeners might be studying locally here in Malaysia, but there's a chance they might get sent overseas to do work, to handle a project. And you're going to be communicating, interacting with people from different cultures. Because engineering is worldwide. It's not local, it's worldwide, right? So I think you brought up a very important point there. Now, you also mentioned that you dealt a lot with the manufacturing line. And in segment 1, you said that you had an interest in robotics. So I want to ask you, were you exposed to automation in train, and how was that for you?
Yes, in the assembly line, we have machineries as well, because train company is manufacturing commercial aircon, so doing a lot of sheet metals fabrications. So there is one of the very interesting machineries that I dealt with is actually the laser cut machine, whereby you load first you load one big piece of metal sheets into the laser cut machines. Then at the control panel, you pull up AutoCAD drawings of a specific parts that you wanted to cut, and the machine will just laser cut it, literally laser and cut the shapes. So very accurate and very high quality. We also have that laser cut machine compared to shear machines, which is cutting the metal in pieces. Why laser cut machine is interesting? Because if you run a typical shear machine, you have to load every time you press one time, there's only cut one time, one cut, two cut, and there's, to fabricate one part, it takes so many processes. And then if you need the hole, then you need to go run through the punching machine and things. But all this done in just one machine, laser cut. So that makes, I find that's very, very interesting.
So I think Mr. Yap just shared with us a perfect example of precision engineering. Because it doesn't get more precise than a laser at this point, I think, right? Also, it's very... Now, you also mentioned, to the benefit of our viewers and listeners, you also mentioned that you had just-in-time and Kaizen. And these are, for those of you not in the know, productivity and efficiency sort of programs, right? And so it's important as an engineer to also keep that in mind, that when you join large multinational corporations, they do have standards. ISO is also worldwide standards for manufacturing in this case. And you have to keep that in mind, that when you do your job, you have to follow the protocols and the requirements of these standards. Is that correct, Mr. Yap?
That's correct.
Mr. Yap has very generously shared his time at Train with us, and I think this is where it gets interesting for us and for all of you listening and watching as well. So after your time in Train, Mr. Yap, you joined Ford as a brand manager. So that's quite a change. That's quite a transformation. And so my question to you is, that's not the regular pathway of, say, the conventional thinking of where an engineer should go in a career. And I'm sure for those of you listening, you would know that the typical pathway for an engineer is junior engineer, senior engineer, then project manager, and maybe project consultant after that. And that tends to be what a lot of engineers go down, or join the government and be a district engineer or something like that. But Mr. Yap over here became a brand manager, which is a completely different skill set, and for the younger ones in our audience, certainly not in your engineering textbook. So Mr. Yap, can you share with us what drove you to make the switch from a manufacturing engineer to a brand manager?
Right. Again, this career pathway is not something that I planned also. It's I get to how I explain first how I transitioned myself from Train to Ford. First reason that drive me to join a different that left Train is because I actually left America and come back to Malaysia, and in seeking out for a new new job, and I'm very lucky that I actually got an opportunity to join Ford. It's also in line with my passion. Joining the automotive industry, because as a youngster, which I'm sure there's a lot of youngsters out there that love cars. I'm also like that. I love cars. So I said, wow, what a wonderful job that there's a job position. I applied for it and I got it. I joined Ford as a product planner first, before switching to brand management. And as a product manager, it's a bit 50% engineering, 50% sales and marketing, because you're doing all the product planning and also liaising with manufacturing on the product that you plan. How I got myself into brand management was I got an offer from my managing director that my MD entrusted me to join marketing, because at the time our marketing colleagues, there's a vacancy in marketing. Right. So I have a one-to-one talk with my managing director, and she said, well, JC, please join marketing. I raised my concern to her. I say, I have no idea how to run. It's not my professional skills. I didn't study marketing as well, right? So, but she said, don't worry, I'll support you. Just go for it, because I reckon that why my managing director entrusted me to join marketing team at the time was it goes back to the problem solving skill. She wants me to go in and strengthen the marketing department with system and processes, and that's where I believe that's why she actually came up with the idea. So I took the challenge. And joined the brand management Ford. It's also very interesting experience for me, whereby I found the practices of marketing is totally different compared to engineering, which I also make some mistake in the early days in my brand. Let's say take up the assignment of brand management, because when I first enter marketing, I approach it in a very engineering way, which is very typical problem solution, facts, numbers and figures, which is not necessarily how the brand and marketing committee colleagues works and agency works. Brand and marketing, I have to acquire new skill sets. The skill set that at that time that I'm lacking in doing the brand management was a bit more, not science, more intuitions towards emotion, less logic, less logic, but also you need to tune more about the emotions. But that doesn't stop me from acquiring the skill in or my deficiency in that. How I overcome that part is, as an engineer, we are very in tune to numbers and figures. How I get my feelings is through reading numbers and figures, right? So we as engineers, we read numbers like reading storybooks. So you read the statistics, you read the customer research, and that's how I get my feelings of whether the like, let's say I take an example, who is a target customer for this vehicle, right? And through statistics, demographic statistics, you can tell, okay, the age of this customer segment is middle age or young age, male or female, percentage, and all this will give you very good information, right? So using this information, that it give me an informed decision, then I need to design the advertisement to appeal to this target group, right? So I'm using, again, I actually reorientate myself by using data and figures to gain that insight and to gain that was very, very helpful for me, and until today I still practice that.
So you kind of used that engineering background of yours, right? And you hybridized it in a way with the emotional side, because you realized that just the full-on pure engineering approach wasn't effective.
Yeah, no.
Because there's the people element to it as well. You mentioned that you had to interface with a different set of colleagues that may not just be purely engineers, right? You had marketing, branding people as well. And so how did you find the importance of communication skills?
Very important. Very important. I think not only, I think communication skills is important in all fields, whether it's engineering or non-engineering, because at the end of the day, we are still dealing with humans, right? And all of us have emotions, and also we are now talking. Also, we are exchanging informations, right? What more that let's say we want to solve a problem, we need to also communicate to solve that problem. So communication is in general is very important in all fields, and specifically for brand management, because you are designing ads to communicate to your customers, that is become even more important. So it's also a professional field in that sense.
Now, for the benefit of our viewers and listeners, Mr. Yap has mentioned that he's very experienced in brand management. So we're going to ask him a little bit about what are a couple of important factors of managing a brand, what he feels that all of you can take away, because as engineers, we want you to broaden your horizons. Like Mr. Yap here has made the transformation, and the fact is he's used his engineering background to his advantage, and we want you, all of you out there, to be able to do the same. So, Mr. Yap, can you tell us a couple of things about brand management that you feel should be highlighted? What's important about brand management? Why brand management?
Brand management, the science of it is basically, there's actually quite a lot of science behind marketing and brand management as well. So it's about a balanced applications of logics and also art, right? Brand management is about managing the brand promises. If the brand makes certain promises or the advertisement makes certain promises, it has to be in line with what the product can deliver, and those product and services can deliver. You have to craft the communication and the marketing messages to be in sync to the customers. So essentially, is to resonate with the customers, building the resonations between the target customers and your product, right? So why I say it's an application of science and also application of art, The science is actually more on the, and that's linked to the engineering again, whereby taking the facts and data, demographic and whatnot, and then build the bridge to the customers and try to find that resonation. And that part is, the communication part is really an art. So it's actually a balance of both applications of skills.
I see. So, but if it's an application of science and art, that means you've got to be quite creative too, the way you think about how to apply these solutions. And I think there might be a myth or misconception out there that engineering individuals might not be in that field of creativity. So how would you recommend for our younger and those in education and training, how can they actually improve their creativity, their out-of-box thinking for applications like these?
Right. I think to answer that questions, no one is perfect. No one is have all the skill sets. I also don't have. So maybe I share a bit more on my area. In terms of creativity wise, there are more people that are more creative than me. If you ask me to become the art director to come up with the creative advertisement or whatnot, I might not be the best talent. I can do it, but I might not produce the best result. But that doesn't stop me to being a marketing person, because I have my creative agencies that work with me. International agency like J. Walter Thompson's, Ogilvy PR, and all this, which they respectively have their own talents, right? But I am the one that will be giving them the brief, and the agency will then come out with the creative, and me as a client then approve the creative. So how I approve the creative again, using also some skills that I acquire from engineering, whereby I look at the advertisement. Is it reaching to my target customers?
Is it effective?
And is it effective? Is it communicate what I want it to communicate? And reaching out to the target customer group. Obviously, if you talk to a younger customers, then your advertisement has to be a bit more younger and more trendy. And if you're talking a more conservative customers, then your advertisement and communications tonality needs to be a bit more conservative, right? So again, using that factual orientation to guide me to approve a certain creative, and what is interesting is we always challenge ourselves to a creative that is award-winning standards. This is the challenge, the fun part of it that I enjoy very much working with the agency, because we always challenge each other to try to like be the best, and stand out in the crowd. And me from the client part, of course, I also want to approve an advertisement that is effective, to reach out to the target customers to then serve the business objective.
Certainly, to be one of the best, I think, is a fantastic aspiration, especially in this field, right? Because it's so competitive. Yeah. The industry is very competitive. But in order to be the best, I think, especially when it comes to, like you mentioned, Mr. Yap, targeting the right demographic or making sure the message gets out there. In your experience, what's the single biggest challenge that you face in terms of brand management? What is something that you encounter that is like, oh, this is something that we have to work out immediately?
I think the Marketing 101 rules is be single-minded. Yeah, your messaging needs to be single-minded. Your campaign needs to be single-minded, and it's okay to repeat your message to register that the brand message in the consumer mind. That's the fundamental Marketing 101. But I would say the second thing is be truthful, because brand management is about delivering what you promise. The essence of the advert, the creative and everything has to be truthful to what the product and services can deliver. And if that you get that mix right, it resonates with your consumer, then you have done a great job.
So for you personally, the sense of integrity and the sense of sincerity and honesty, that's what builds rapport between the brand and the clientele.
Yeah.
So that's important for all of you listening and watching, that it's trust is such an important currency to accumulate and to accrue, because trust is difficult to build, but easily lost if not managed properly. And so we have to remember the lessons that Mr. Yap just taught us about brand management and sort of the pitfalls if you're not careful with it. Now, Mr. Yap's journey continues to get interesting. After his time at Ford doing brand management, he then joined Mercedes, where he is now the head of sales, and he's been at Mercedes for a very long time, 19 years, I believe. And so we're going to ask Mr. Yap, what was the change like from product planning, brand management, and now doing sales? So, like I said, very interesting pathway that we're going to discover today. Mr. Yap?
Yes, again, what brings me to join Mercedes-Benz was headhunted to join Mercedes-Benz. And the interesting part is I didn't join Mercedes-Benz in Malaysia, but I joined in the regional office in Singapore during regional functions, sales regional function. That's how I got myself into Mercedes-Benz. And after spending 1 year in Singapore, then I came back to Malaysia and joined the Mercedes-Benz Malaysia in the sales department. And what brings me to sales is also linked to all the historical skills and experience that I've acquired. Because in Ford, as a product planning, I have to do pricing strategy and spec up the vehicle, and those things is actually relevant to the when I'm being headhunted. There was a skill set that I was looking for, and then I joined sales department in Malaysia as dealing with operative sales, and operative skill. Actually, sales is nothing but numbers and figures. Is chasing about the numbers and figures, right, which we as an engineer are very comfortable to deal with, right? We are very comfortable with numbers and figures, statistics, analyze statistics, what is the order intake trend, so having that engineering background and the comfort dealing with numbers give me a lot of skill sets and be excellent in that field. As I mentioned, also one of my natural inclination is I read numbers like reading storybooks. Right. So by reading numbers, I can tell what's going on and what action needs to be taken. The stock here is moving not fast enough. We need to do something, So it's also an application of science as well, because it's based on this data to guide you what to do next. And also, of course, to hit this certain number of sales target, you need to have how much of lead generations, prospecting, how much of a conversion of the lead into order intake, how much of the order intake convert into actual final sales. So it's almost like a statistical study, and that again, with the engineering background, with the numbers, that guided me very well in the field of sales.
So when we think of your current position as head of sales, that's very much a top leadership position. And so surely in your time, as head of sales, there must have been some leadership challenges that or skill sets, obviously, that you accrued. And we discussed communication and collaboration. Yeah. What are some other leadership skills you think are crucial? Do you think perhaps data analysis, is that going to be important for future engineers to consider? as leaders?
For my journey as being a head of sales, acquiring the business acumen is also important. It's not just chasing sales figures and things like that, but also the business acumen. Me as an engineer in my career, I also realized that I have some certain deficiency. My deficiency is in the business field is accounts, financial statements, and also get that financial acumen. That's something that I was lacking. So I actually took the initiative to do a part-time MBA course to acquire that skills, because I was just thinking to myself, if there's nothing that cannot be studied, right? There's nothing, no skill that cannot be acquired, right? If human can design rockets, acquiring an MBA is a piece of cake, right? You just need to find the discipline to do it. So I did that. So that gave me the business acumen, the financial. So when I talk to that brings me to the aspect of how to manage stakeholders and the leaderships. Because in my field of work, I engage a lot with high-level people, investor and top corporate leaders and things like that. And in order for me to in sync with if their lingo and business, and so I need to have a lot of business acumen. But to your point of your answer, what kind of leaderships? In my experience, the first leadership is actually personal leadership. Before you managing external, you need to manage yourself first. Yeah. So basically, personal leadership is you must have developed a great awareness of yourself. Where's your strength, weakness, what's your passion, where's the potential, and by knowing yourself, you're able to then control yourself better, and then only start to then influence the external in whether you're managing a sales team, managing your stakeholder, But first you need to manage yourself. So I think leadership is about first managing yourself before manage external.
That's clearly important. So obviously knowing yourself before you try to handle the affairs of others in your team. Now, Mr. Yap, how about for external leadership? What has been to you, in your experience, what's been, let's say, one of the most important things you had to do as a leader? Is it basically just the decision-making skills? Is it risk management? Which part of leadership do you think sort of underscores what you do day to day?
Most important thing is, I would say, is integrity, sincerity, and truthfulness, and empathy. Of course, the technical aspect of things is a given. You must know your job. You must know how to tackle the problems and things like that. But the EQ side of things, like for example, I mentioned the trust, the integrity and sincerity and empathy side of things is I would say it's a root, right? Because problem comes with different formats. You're dealing with people. It can be many aspects. It comes in all forms. But so long you are guided with that principle, the solution is just the application of techniques. But the hardest decision that confronted you is topics that is ethical topics. A business deal come to you, right? And you know that is certain practices that they might not in line with your, let's say, value and things like that. Do you do the deal or do you don't do the deal? If you're not guided with a strong principle, you will be very easily make the wrong decisions. Problem solving application and techniques is it will come naturally using your years of experience and everything. But I think the principle of things is very, very important. That's fundamental.
So you would say, Mr. Yap, that it's important for all of our viewers, listeners, that having a base of strong core values to drive your decision making is actually as important as the technical aspects of it.
Yeah, that's why I reflect back in my university days. There's even a course called engineering ethics, right? And I used to think, why do we need that? But now, in actual business world, I find that that's a lot of relevant, and I feel that not only we should just keep studying about the techniques, but also orientations on of a human principle and human values is also equally very, very important.
So at the beginning of the program, Mr. Yap, you mentioned that you have a natural predisposition to curiosity. And perhaps it's your curiosity that led you to your very interesting career pathway till now. You mentioned that in your position as sales that you had to accrue business acumen. And I think a lot of people now are waking up to the fact that having entrepreneurship skills is probably important. Would you recommend that to our young listeners and viewers?
Well, entrepreneurship can be applied in a professional multinational company. Although let's say I am the head of sales of a MNC, right? Not my company, but I also got the opportunity to practice entrepreneurships in the MNC setup. And of course, for those that have the courage to venture out of their own business setup, the entrepreneurs create business owner create job creations, and as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, of course, you have to persevere, problem solving, managing people, right? And it's also confronted with many human elements and things like that, not just the technical things, dealing with client and things like that. So I would say to your listener, the world is really a very interesting world out there. Keep an open mind. There's so much to contribute to the world.
So keep what Mr. Yap just said in mind. Also, as you've been joining us for this program, keep in mind the trajectory of Mr. Yap's very interesting, very unique career pathway. The whole time he's shared his experience with us, he's kept an open mind. And he's kept to his core values of integrity and honesty. But also he's realized that, yes, the engineering side can help you, and it should help you in many aspects of life, but it's also important to have that emotional quotient, that EQ, that sense of empathy, being able to put yourself in the shoes of another person. All of these help to complete you as not just an engineer, but as a professional and as a person of the world as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, engineering thinkers, that concludes segment 2, the highlight. And for the next segment, stay with us because we're going to ask Mr. Yap about his opinions about the future of the automotive industry. Stay with us. Thank you. Engineering thinkers, welcome back to the program. We've now reached the third and final concluding segment of our program today. And this is the creative section where we're going to ask our guest, Mr. Yap, what he thinks about the future and also some of the tips he will bestow upon you to make sure you can find success in your fields. So, Mr. Yap, we've talked a lot about your experience, obviously, in the automotive industry and also your experience in your early life as well as a manufacturing engineer. Now I want to talk to you about a new sort of direction that the automotive industry is taking, which is EVs, electric vehicles. And that has to do with green engineering and sustainability. Why do you think there has been a shift to EVs recently?
I answer this from my own personal observations and interests. Sustainability is not an option because Earth has went through 5 major extinctions, right? And we are heading towards closer towards the next one. And if we don't do anything, not being pessimist, but we know that it's, if we don't do something, the Earth might not be a very conducive environment for us to live in. So it's not options, right? As in why automotive industry going towards sustainability, let's look at the facts and figures. Transportation industry actually contributed 20% of the carbon emission, 20%. Out of the 20%, 48% is actually contributed by automotive. So you can see that looking at the statistics, the auto industry actually, or the car vehicle mobility actually contribute a significant amount of CO2. So that from the engineering standpoint, problem solution, we have a problem. Statistically, it shows that we need a solution. So what is the solution? EV, you can have hydrogen fuel as well. EV is an electric vehicle, has a more end-to-end engineering solution to the carbon emissions. Not to go into debate which technology is better, but EV, why EV is, I say that it's actually, I believe is more to end-to-end solution is because it's not just the vehicle itself, but the source of the power is also very important, right? And if we and now with you can see that there's so many ways to generate sustainable green electricity, right? To solar power, hydroelectric in Malaysia especially, right? And if we can shift, in order for a sustainable future, we also need the energy sector to go into green energy as well, right? So just imagine that the energy that we use today is green, and the car that you're driving can take that energy and translate to a kinetic energy to bring you A to B, right? So in that sense, is the then end-to-end solutions.
So, Mr. Would you say that it's also not just in the sense that it's more sustainable for the environment, but actually this solution can be beneficial to the consumer as well, the end user? Because
to human race.
Right? Because if we're using reusable energy or renewable energy sources, then we have sort of less dependency on fossil fuels, which, as you mentioned, I believe, internal combustion engines contributed, you said, almost half of the pollution emissions, right? I drive a car myself, so I'm not entirely ignorant to the fact that, yes, ICEs are contributing to the carbon footprint. So what would you say to our sort of aspiring engineers? Should they have this sort of forward thinking in mind when they join the workforce? They should definitely think how they could apply themselves more of an environmentally sustainable sort of methodology of doing engineering in the future, or?
Definitely. I would strongly encourage your viewer to take the challenge to apply engineering techniques for a greener and for a sustainable future, right? I think we need to stay grounded in this aspect, right? While we are human race aspire to conquer the universe and go to another planet or not, we have more prominence fundamental issues at Earth, which is called CO2. The positive challenge that I would like your viewer to take on: how can we solve this human mankind problem that's applied to all of us, so that our next generations can continue to enjoy Mother Earth. Earth is a more comfortable environment for all of us to live in. And I believe these Avengers missions, right, lies with what engineering solution can we provide for a sustainable future, and that it's very, very interesting.
So keep in mind what Mr. Yap just said, right? So he's not just the hero of the program, but he's also saying that you're going to be the future heroes as well, because a lot of what you guys and gals will be doing in the future will have a great impact on the world. And we all share the same world, even though we might have borders and different countries, different cultures. It's the same planet. We all inhabit in the same place. So we kind of in this together. There's
shared responsibility.
There's a shared responsibility. So always remember that. Now I want to ask Mr. Yap also about his thoughts about the future of the automotive industry, this time for safety, and what he thinks have been important developments in terms of how automotive engineering has made the roads safer. Mr. Yap?
Yeah, I think responsible automotive OEM aspire to provide accident-free mobility, right? And here I'm actually quite lucky that I joined a OEM. My employer, Mercedes-Benz, actually the first inventor of ABS braking system. And it was first introduced in the S-Class in 1978. And actually, I'm actually quite appreciative that the company did not patent and actually block other OEM to access this new technology. In fact, the company made a conscious decision to open it up, and so that everybody, all OEM, has access to this new technology. And now, today, which car doesn't have ABS, right? I think that aspect is the shared responsibility of free, accident-free mobility is essence. In terms of the technology development, there's actually quite a lot of fascinating technology in this field. Some is not even visible by us, and it will only be visible when the accident going to happen or happened. Which sometimes I think consumer don't realize that.
Right.
If let's say if that certain brands or vehicles that you're in is equipped with that technology, and when the accident going to happen or almost happen, that's where you really appreciate the safety technology and the safety engineering, and especially for people like us that have family members. Safety, it's actually fundamentals, because not only we care about our own safety, we care about the safety of all the occupants and your loved ones in the vehicle that you're driving.
So there's been a lot of improvement in terms of automotive safety, hasn't there, over the last few years? Stronger sensors, sort of also cameras, reverse cameras, and all of those as well contribute to the safety of the roads.
Correct. And the safety of the vehicle is fascinating. It's actually going into a new field because by having the possibility of sensor, radar, GPS, camera, and feeding all this data into the computer, right? And making the also assist the brake system and those kind of things to prevent the accident happen. And also, when the accident happen, what is the actuator in the car will also then prepare for the impact and post-impact as well. So I just give you an example of a very interesting one aspect of it. So when the accident happen, the airbag blown.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, the window will actually lower a little bit. Why? To allow the air escape, because when the airbag blown, there's a lot of pressure into the compartment space, and when you lower the window, it allows the air pressure to be escaped, and so that it doesn't hurt your eardrum, right? Things like that. Interesting things, technology like that that we don't see it, but actually it's there. And these are the interesting thing in the aspect of vehicle automotive, and this technique is actually not entirely new, but there are even more exciting advanced technology that's under development in the aspect of safety.
So I want to thank Mr. Yap for sharing that with us, because we always like to say, superheroes, what do heroes do? They save lives. And that's why automotive engineering, in terms of safety, is so critical. And just the small detail like lowering the windows to make sure the air pressure is equalized makes a big difference. It is the difference between life and death. And that's what, for all of our viewers and listeners out there, that's what engineering is. It can be the difference between life and death. So it's important that we remember the lessons that Mr. Yap has shared with us, and also with the examples of automotive safety. Now, for something that's going to benefit our viewers and listeners, because all of you have been terrific so far, staying with us in the program, we're going to ask Mr. Yap what he feels you could do to find success in employment, perhaps in your field or something similar. Mr. Yap, what do you think about that?
I speak about myself, also to share with the fellow listeners. I always find that value creations and being value added to yourself, to the company that you work with, value add to the people that you're working with also. I think that is a key fundamental to the joint success, because we are in this world. Human is a very collaborative race, right. And if we collaborate together and value at each other, forget about don't pay so much attention to money and wealth and all this material gain. Of course, it's important, but that's not the focus. By focusing on value creations, success will come. And I would say, so for the young engineers or fresh graduate out there, I pick an example, right? Just go out there, do internships. Never mind the few hundred ringgit allowance or what. It's about the experience that you gain. And while you are on it, while you are doing it, do your best. Value add to the company. Value add to your employer. Value add to your fellow colleagues. And in the process of doing so, please also enjoy the process, right? It's like life is very colorful. Enjoy the process. Also along with it, be happy about it. Help everyone to solve problems. And the success, you'll be the magnet of success. The success will come. So I truly believe that.
So keep that in mind to our dear listeners and viewers. Also, that's very important advice and tips, because if you recall from the first segment, actually, Mr. Yap interned himself as well when he was younger. He actually sought out internships. So when he, recommends all of you to seek out internships, get that experience, it's because he's had first-hand experience doing so himself. And that's actually, if you recall from earlier in the episode, that's how he actually got his position at Train. So it's important for all of you to think about networking and being, having the right attitude of possessing initiative to seek out opportunities. So I want to thank Mr. Yap for sharing his advice to all of you, how you can find your success in your fields. Remember, it's important to add value, but also important to have core values within yourself, such as honesty and integrity. Engineering Thinkers, we've reached the conclusion of our program for this episode, and I would like to sincerely thank Mr. JC Yap from Mercedes for joining us, taking time out of his busy schedule to share with us his amazing journey from engineer to head of sales. And I'm sure that all of us have learned a great deal from his appearance on the episode today. I also like to take this opportunity to thank our host, MMM Group Berhad, for which this production would not be possible without their amazing expertise, and they really look after us here, and we very much appreciate it. Always remember, Engineering Thinkers, how we always sign off, which is greater engineer,
greater world. There's many pathways to success, and engineering is a great way to be successful. It equips you with knowledge on how to solve problems in a methodical way. And I would strongly encourage you to keep an open mind, value add to your stakeholder, value add to yourself, enjoy yourself along the journey, because greater engineer is greater world.
Hello Engineering Thinkers, thank you for joining us in our program today. We'd like to invite you to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and also follow us on our other platforms such as Buzzsprout, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. The links for all those will be in the description below. Thank you very much for joining us for this episode, but we have so much more planned for you. So make sure you don't miss out on exciting guests and topics to come. Cheers.